What is going on, guys? Predator458 here, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to Izumo once again. Now, I've been playing this a fair amount because, as I said, with the free experience that I've got, I only need about 35,000 XP in total to unlock the Yamato. I mean, I've still got to get the credits for it, which is a whole nother story. About 17 odd million short at the moment, but been playing this a fair bit to just try and get that XP done so then I can focus on other things and focus on just playing and trying to get the money together. So anyways, as I said, we're back in Izumo, and once again we are on Ocean. So if this is a good game, this will be the second Izumo match in a row where I show you a match on Ocean. Now, I typically don't like Ocean because the people who spawn where our team did, we go up the map, and the people who spawn in the opposite corner, they go down, and it just lands up, the teams just go past each other, and it can sometimes be a bit of a pain. But we're starting to get our first targets, which is nice. A little bit of lag there. Internet connection's been playing up a little bit at the moment, even more than usual. And North Carolina disappears as we're about to take the shot, and we got some incoming shells from someone. I don't know who fired those. Perhaps the Megami. 8 seconds. Let's give them about the lead and fire maybe there, and hope for the best. But yeah, I've actually been surprisingly, I've been enjoying this ship, which is actually a bit annoying, and we managed to get 3 hits for just under 7,000 damage. But I'm actually quite annoyed that I'm enjoying this ship because I was kind of banking on the fact that it was as terrible as everyone said, and that I'd be able to sell it, or I'd want to sell it, and that would help fund the Yamato, because I'll get about 11 million credits for selling this. And the lead's looking pretty good on this, maybe a little bit far behind, and we splice all over the place. But yeah, I mean, I'd get 11 million credits for selling this thing, and that would obviously help in a big way towards buying the Yamato for 20 or 21 million or whatever it is. And we've already lost our first ship, which is unfortunate. But the other funny thing is, at the moment, okay, I mean, I haven't played as many games in this as I did in Iowa, obviously, but at the moment my average damage is actually higher than my average damage was in Iowa, and we get 5 hits on the Tirpitz for just over 4,000 damage. Unfortunately, nothing too special there. But I mean, we'll obviously see how things go with this ship, and how my average damage, progresses, because as I say, right now it's actually a little bit higher than what I had in Iowa. I'm still finding these guns to be a little bit inconsistent. They just seem to splice targets a lot more than like Iowa's guns and that sort of thing, than the American guns do. But overall it's not bad, and as I say, if you kind of keep this thing angled, and we get 2 hits for a mystery amount of damage. But if you keep this thing angled, you don't go broadside to an enemy battleship. The armor is actually surprisingly good. Tirpitz at just under 20 kilometers, and he's turning, so we're going to hold our shot. I really want to try and get a nice citadel on this Amagi. Let's try firing there. And so far we haven't really received any attention from the enemy. And these are actually looking pretty good. They look like they're going to land amidships. And 2 hits for 4,200 again. And you can just see what I mean constantly by this, these guns and them splicing. I mean, those were bang on target. We only got 2 hits out of 9. And that happens really, really often in the ship, where you get these good salvos on target, but unfortunately, like, a lot of your shells go behind the enemy and a lot land in front. So now we got this Iowa. We'll fire everything at him and hope that maybe this time it gives us a nice tight grouping, because that's what it doesn't seem to do all that often. And he was slowing right down, so 2 hits for 2.5, and I don't think we've hit more than 2 shells in a single salvo yet. And I'm just trying to look what my team is doing, because obviously I don't want to press in. Is he still slowing? We'll fire there. We've turned a bit, so we couldn't fire all 3 guns. that should be fine. And looks like he's now completely stopped, so... Ooh, we hit 3 that time, that's nice. And an Otago at 10.8 kilometers. I think he's maneuvering, so probably going to go for the Iowa again. I think he's sped up now, so we'll fire there. You can see the enemy has made a beeline straight for our cap, but our team is still messing around. And I don't know where those shells landed. North Carolina, it's 16 kilometers, and we're broadside on to him and this Nagato, which is not good. And I think this Nagato is actually firing at us, and we take our first damage of the game, some very minor damage. I'm just wondering who to shoot at next. And we get 6 hits and a Citadel, and I saw 17,000, but I think it was more than that. So that was our first really good salvo of the match. So as I said in the last video of Izumo, when these guns work, they do tend to work quite well. And we take very minor damage from all those Nagato shells or whoever that was shooting us. And I'm a bit surprised at that because we were rather flat onto them, and there were a lot of hits. And we get 4 hits and an incapacitation, doing just under 10,000 damage to the Yamato. Sorry, to the Iowa. But yeah, I mean, when these guns work, they do work, and this battleship's not actually as bad as everyone seems to say it is. The armor can actually save you quite often. So we'll fire everything there. And I'm just wondering if we're going to have to turn around and try and head back to base at some point soon. We get 2 Citadels and 2 hits for 35,000 damage on the Iowa. So, second Izumo match in a row where we are punishing an Iowa. And I wonder if it's because a lot of... someone took out our turret. That Omagi, you bastard. But I wonder if it's that Iowa captains are a little bit cocky. And they know they have pretty good armor, so they rely on it a little bit more than they should. And 3 hits and an incapacitation for just under 3,000 damage. And I think, yeah, we are probably... I think we might have to really consider turning around now, because they have now started to cap our base. We've got 2 guns ready. Let's give him the lead. Fire there. The lag is finished. And just not quite enough lead, and they kind of, most of them went over, but giving us 2 hits for no damage, which is unfortunate. We're going to use our first repair team, take us back up to 71,000 health, and 2 hits for 4,000 on the Iowa. The Ibuki is 6 kilometers away, giving us a nice broad target. And actually, cruisers is something I find that this ship really struggles with, because there is so much dispersion in that, you know, you're splicing ships all the time, and obviously cruisers being a much narrower target, far too often you fire at them and you splice them, which, as you've seen, happens a fair amount when you're shooting at battleships. So as you can imagine, it's even worse when shooting at cruisers. And this Nagato is now 14 kilometers away. We've got all guns ready. We're going to fire them and hope we can get some serious hits on him again, like we did last time. And he turned in, but still 2 hits for 5,500 damage, which we will gladly accept. North Carolina, and at least they've stopped capping now. We're going to expose our side a bit because he's not aiming at us. And he's kind of turning away, so I'm going to fire a little bit above his waterline and hope he continues that turn. And unfortunately he didn't, but still 3 hits for just under 9,000 damage, I think it was. The Buki's now shooting at us. We're in a rather bad spot here, but we did not really have a choice. We did kind of have to head back to prevent the cap. Let's request some fire support. And we're on fire. North Carolina is reversing, so we'll take the shot. I'm going to put that fire out. Probably shouldn't, but we did. And those are looking good. And 3 hits for 5,500 damage, which we can live with. I'm going to focus up the Nagato now, because we're getting to the point where we're going to be within secondary gun range, which is of course 7 kilometers on the ship. And he's now given us a very nice broad target, and it looks like he stopped turning. So we'll fire everything. We got torpedoes coming in, but those shouldn't be a problem. And we get a Citadel in 2 hits for 16,000 damage to finish him off. But we still have to deal with these ships that are, and there we go, on fire again. Oh well. Got to deal with this North Carolina and the Tirpitz behind him. Otherwise, they may make a beeline for the cap anytime soon. Well, at any time. And we're on fire again. We're going to heal up to just try and mitigate the fire damage. We get 3 hits for 5,000, just under 5,700 damage. And we're being focused down by these 2 guys. And our battleship that was over there is destroyed, so it's just myself and this North Carolina. 24 seconds until the fire goes out. And this Tirpitz has taken out our middle turret. The bastard. Bastard. But come on, North Carolina, carry on turning. Carry on turning. We'll fire the 1 gun that's ready. We've got to wait for the rear turret to turn all the way around. We've got more torpedoes coming in. We get 1 hit for just under 1,300 damage. And thankfully those torpedoes just run out of range. So no problems there. More torpedo warnings. Let's fire those there. How do these do? That looks like a pretty good grouping. No Citadel, 4 hits for just under 4,000 damage. So all over penetrations, unfortunately. And thankfully it looks like that North Carolina's actually got 2 of his turrets knocked out. It looks like his rear forward turret is down and his rear turret is down, and he does nearly 6,000 damage to us. So that's very unfortunate for him, to be down to just 1 turret. Happened to me, I don't think I've ever been down to 1, but I was playing Tirpitz the other day, and I had both front turrets knocked out, which was annoying. And this Tirpitz looks like he's continuing to fire at us. We're going to turn in, try and get our guns to bear. And here come his shells. Oh no, he was firing at the North Carolina. I wonder if he accidentally had the North Carolina selected and fired at us. Possibly. And this guy is now at 10 kilometers. That's not good. And those are looking pretty good. 6 hits for 13,000 or so. And all these torpedoes. Torpedoes of death. And those 2 look like they're going to try and make a baby battleship. Fire like that. I don't really want to fire at this Tirpitz behind me because he is angled. And they slowed down a bit, so I don't think, yeah, I'm not going to get anything there. And this North Carolina looks like he's about to charge the Tirpitz. Not something I would do, my friend. But Tirpitz is turning, giving us a broad target. Let's take the lead and fire everything and hope we can get some good hits. He is only at 10.5 kilometers, so hopefully the spread's good. And we get 6 hits for 12,000 damage. He's still focusing his fire on us, probably just keeping his torpedoes for the North Carolina, who is down to very low health, and I think has made a fatal mistake here. Provided, of course, the Tirpitz did have torpedoes available, he may have been launching them at something else, and those actually might have been them, so maybe he dodged those. 3 hits for 5,300, we'll take that. But now this North Carolina is getting focused down. We are going to try and they're still trying to make a baby battleship. We're going to try and turn in and support, but he should not have done that. And there goes some torpedoes, and yeah, he is dead. And we are down to 3 battleships and a cruiser versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 battleships, a cruiser and a destroyer. We'll fire everything at the lovely couple. This is going to be a loss. 6 hits for 6,000. It's going to be a loss, unfortunately. No way we're going to destroy enough ships, and they obviously only need 80 points more to win. But I guess we're just going to have to try and do as much damage as possible before the match is over. Hopefully we should be able to survive. Take the... maybe that guy. That other Tirpitz was turning, which is why I decided to not shoot him. We're going to slow down and turn into these shells. Oh, we get 2 hits for nothing. They are 22 points away from victory. So Margie is probably the flattest target, but he's still barely angled. Well, let's try it. Let's take the lead and fire everything. 10 points. And these are looking okay. And they all all splice. Oh well. 4 points away from victory. Oh, another loss, unfortunately. I've had a lot of losses in the ship. And there we go. We have lost the match. But it was still fairly decent, I think. You know, not bad amount of money and that sort of thing. As you can see, we got 79 target hits, 3 incapacitations, only destroyed 1 enemy vessel, but got 4 citadel hits for 310,600 silver, 2,800 research. We came first place on the team, and we did 183,000 damage, 141,000 profit. And I think, yeah, that's actually not a bad amount of damage. I didn't quite expect it to be that high, especially considering the last match had 8 citadels and only 150,000 damage or so. But yeah, I'm actually enjoying the ship. It's not too bad. It's not as bad as a lot of people say. As I said, the guns are a bit inconsistent, but it can perform if you play it well. But yeah, I think that is about it for this video. If you enjoyed, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button down below and consider subscribing for more World of Warships content, as well as War Thunder and a few other things that I throw into the mix from time to time. Also, be sure to check the description down below for links to my Facebook and my Twitter pages, and the email address that you guys can use to send in any awesome replays that you have if you like them to be featured on my channel. But as I said, that is it from me. Thank you very much for stopping by. This is Predator 458 signing off, and I will see you guys next time.